Alright, multiplying rational expressions. Multiplying is probably the easiest operation with rational expressions. What we're going to do is we're going to factor the numerator and the denominators. We're going to reduce anything before we multiply if it can be reduced. You need to understand that because in step 3 here we multiply the numerator to the numerator, in other words, we're going to end up multiplying straight across here. Because we were doing that, we can actually cross cancel in multiplication. It's the only one that you can cross cancel in, meaning you can kind of if the factors in the numerator of one fraction but common factors in the denominator of the next, you can actually cancel those out, basically because you're multiplying straight across. And then in the end we just need to double check to see if we missed any opportunities to reduce. Okay, so first matter of business is to factor. Now in our first fraction here, it's factored, nothing's going to happen there. And we're going to multiply that by x minus 3. That doesn't factor, but here we can take out a 9. We can factor a 9 out of 9x and 27, so we're left with x minus 3. And what we see here is we have now a factor, x minus 3, even though there aren't parentheses there, it's multiplied by 1, if you want to think of it that way, on the top. It will cancel out with this x minus 3. And this 9 here has a factor of 3 in it here, so we can cancel out a factor of 3. We would be left with 3, and it would cross cancel with this one, leaving us with just 1. So after that big mess there, what we're really left with here is a 1 on top over 3 times x plus 1. Okay, which again, if you want to distribute that, would be 3x plus 3. And in this case, you might want to note here that x could not equal -1 or 3, because if you put those into the original problem, they would produce a 0 in our denominator. Okay, next example, a little more difficult, but nevertheless we're going to follow the same rules here. We need to factor, so I'm going to factor x squared minus 4 becomes x plus 2, x minus 2, that's the difference of squares, over x plus 2, okay, times x minus 2 over x minus 2, x plus 1. Okay, now that's our entire problem factored. Now we need to look for common factors. If we look in this first one here, you'll see that x plus 2 and x plus 2 will cancel out, and we could either cross cancel this x minus 2 here, or we could cancel it with the top here. Either one doesn't matter. I'm going to cross cancel, so those will cancel out, and you'll see here in the end all we're really left with is an x minus 2 over an x plus 1, where x cannot equal, okay, if we go back to the original problem, all of these, we have to look at the factors in the bottom, okay, x cannot equal plus or minus 2, and x could not equal -1. Okay, that would be your final answer. Multiplication, pretty simple. Simplify and multiply straight across.